Yeah, keep a Glock 48 on my side. I ain't trippin' how you on the other side. I ain't trippin' why you on the other side. Diamond boulders on my wrist, they decide. 40 Glock make a pussy gon' decide. Yeah, run it up, I get it on my tribe. Yeah, run it up, I get it on my tribe. Run it up, I get it on my tribe. I'm on the bed with the goals, yeah. I'm on the top with the codes, yeah. We talking about I'm getting done, yeah. You talk too motherfucker, go, yeah. Be so fucked on my motherfucking song, yeah. I'ma pull up on bus in my wine, yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of Lakeshow's Finest. I'm your host, Charles Ryan, KB24 status, Kobe24 MP3, or yours truly, the biggest Lakers fan in the world. I can prove it. It's called search other videos on my channel. Overall, I think this was a good game, really good game. It was very clear that Vogel was experimenting with lineups. He held out LeBron way too long in the fourth quarter, I think on purpose, to get some flows going. I believe it's a 72-game season, so it doesn't really matter. 0-1, 1-0, obviously early. But there's a lot to work with here. Of course, the two players that really stood out were definitely besides LeBron and AD, were Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell. Both had double-doubles. Dennis Schroeder almost had a triple-double. Dennis Schroeder had 14 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists on only one turnover. 8 assists on one turnover in 28 minutes. That's pretty solid. Pretty solid. And he's coming off a foot injury or like a slight foot issue. He probably just got rubbed with some Bengay or something, and he seems fine. But, if he's going to start with almost triple-double, and that's the floor, then watch out. Because it was interesting because you're watching a guy handle the ball in the front court. And last year, that was primarily LeBron James, correct? When the starting five had a non-traditional point guard. I believe the starting five last year was JaVale, LeBron, AD, KCP, and I can't think of it right now. Oh, Avery Bradley. No. Okay, I'll think of it. It was LeBron, AD, Avery Bradley, JaVale McGee, and some other fool. I don't know anymore. Whatever, I'm tired. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm recapping this game after extensive note-takings, let me mind you. Plus, let's just be honest. I posted about 10 videos in the last 10 days, so I'm trying to ramp this up, as much content out as I can. Seeing what sticks, seeing what doesn't, analyze it, push to the next thing based on that. What's successful there. But yeah, so Montrezl Harrell, he played really well, double-double, but he only missed one shot. He was 6 for 7. A lot of his shots were obviously high percentage shots at the rim. While Schroeder actually shot 5 for 15. But you know what? If he makes 1 or 2 buckets, like 5 for 15, that's 33%. If he makes 2 more buckets, that's almost 50%. So take out the grain of salt. But the 2 threes that Schroeder made were really in rhythm, and a lot of his shots were in rhythm. And there's several times that he could have easily got a call on a jump shot where a Clipper would literally come under him as he landed, or he tried to sell it and fall back while hitting the ground. He's not James Harden. Maybe if if Dennis Schroeder was a few inches taller and a little bit bigger, he'd get that call. Because this guy has handles, and he's very crafty, and he'd slice cut to the rim, and cradle the ball in his hands away from the 7-foot guy, Zubats or Ibaka. And he was dancing sometimes. Like, I remember when he got Serge Ibaka in a turn, like a spin cycle, and he unfortunately missed the shot. But if you're going to switch on him with a big guy, you got to watch out. He's super quick, and he's young. Dennis Schroeder, I believe, I think he's like 28 years old. But he's just a great overall upgrade, obviously, from Danny Green. He's 27 years old. That was close. It's a great overall upgrade, of course, but everybody was wondering, or at least most, if you're a Lakers fan, you were questioning, would he come off the bench or would he start? And in one game, and I think he played like 1 or 2 preseason games, it seems it works. This game was very strange in terms of like huge runs, huge stretches of back and forth. The biggest lead for the Clippers was 22, and that came in the first quarter. And the Lakers got down to as many as like 1. They were tied at one point in like the third. And then when Vogel decided not to put LeBron back in, like literally from I think the 7-minute mark of the fourth to the end, LeBron didn't play a minute. And at like the 7-minute mark, the Lakers rolled it down by like 6. So I don't know if that was on purpose. LeBron played only 28 minutes, and I think that's right. I don't think it's smart to have LeBron play 35 minutes in his first game after 70 days off, which apparently, according to like ESPN, is like the shortest amount of time between a season to season in any professional sports league in the United States. So the big 4, NHL, MLB, NBA, and NFL. So also, I really liked the ring ceremony. That was kind of cool. Unfortunately, I recorded it and I watched it. I watched the game like an hour after it started because I like to catch up, go past the commercials. And for some reason, like Inside the NBA started like really early, so I missed a couple players. But I thought the thing with Giannis was hilarious, and he's like, "Let's get more rings." Obviously, some stuff there, and a lot of things stood out. Man, Jared Dudley almost cried. LeBron almost cried. That was awesome. I was surprised Jeannie Buss wasn't on the floor, and then maybe I was overlooking this, but Rob was on the floor, and I don't know if they called his name to get a ring. Maybe they did. I don't know. Or maybe they'll do it when they reveal the banner in a few months, or maybe even next season when there's fans allowed into Staples Center. Right now, there's currently 6. I repeat, 6 teams that are allowing fans to attend the games. And I don't understand the risk. They do not test the fans when they enter. I don't know the limit per stadium, if they're going to make it like 20% full, 10%, who knows? Maybe they're just really greedy and they want money, and maybe they'll fill it up all the way. I have no idea. Because tonight, I think both stadiums were empty in Brooklyn and in Los Angeles, and those are obviously 2 states, California and New York, or New York City and Los Angeles, that have been really hit hard by this. So I don't see any scenario where in the near future they'll have fans. But it's interesting, man. They were saying the fans would come. Adam Silver was saying the fans would come. You can't test everybody. Like at a college campus, you can't like literally pat down every single student in case something happens. You can't pat down every single fan with a freaking COVID test, a rapid 20-minute test, or get their thermometer taken. If you're going to do that, that would be super extensive on a logistics basis, which I do know some of these things. Or, no, I mean, I've studied some arena, like behavior and formatting and stuff, and it just doesn't make sense. Like, how would you just... But the fans are going to be 30 feet away in these 6 stadiums. Of course, when you're courtside, it's like, 2 feet. But, required to wear a mask, all that, which is great. But the Lakers need those fans for that banner, and I think the sooner they get it, the better. Like, who cares if it's only like 100 people surrounding the lower bowl? They just need... I think once you release that banner and it's there, and the Lakers can look up at the banner, I know it may sound cheesy, but look up at the banner, I think there'll be some confidence there. Like a huge morale boost. Not a morale boost, just a huge boost in terms of mentality. Like, yo, I did that. That's there. I got this. It's official now. It's like hanging up there, one of the most famous stadiums in the world. And when the fans are roaring around you and applauding you for winning, man, just there's like a lower bowl, a middle bowl, and an upper bowl in the Staples Center. Just like have each one like at like 25% capacity, and you'll still get like 2,000 fans, 3,000. They'll make some noise. It's a tight stadium. There's some bouncing off echoes. When they're funneling the fan audio while they were playing, I thought it was actually pretty funny because sometimes like big plays would happen and there'd be no audio, and I was like, well, that would have been a good time to use it. Like there's several huge dunks. Like LeBron had a couple crazy not posters, but a crazy couple like just dunks with emphasis, getting by the guy's shoulder, getting to the rim. And for some reason, a couple of those times there were no fans. No fan audience funneled in. So this podcast may be a little shorter, probably like 20 minutes. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think there's that much to talk about in terms of, because like this isn't like what you're gonna see down the line in the middle to end in the playoffs, like the critical times of the season. You're not gonna have LeBron playing 28 minutes. You're not gonna have Marc Gasol only play 12 minutes. Somehow Marc Gasol literally was zeroed out this game in 12 minutes. 0 field goal attempts, 0 points, 5 fouls, 1 assist, 1 rebound. I mean, you can't get much more, than that. He was a -8. The worst plus minus was Wes Matthews at a -18. Man, I gotta tell you, man, Wes Matthews, his defense was atrocious on Kawhi Leonard. And that's what I don't get. Like, I don't understand the concept of putting Patrick Patterson on LeBron James when Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are over there. I don't know if it's to exert energy, which is a fair point, and only do it later in the crunch time of the game, maybe. But it's day one. They're not completely fresh. Well, the Clippers are. They've been off they've had 5 extra weeks off, something like that, than the Lakers. But yeah, I didn't understand that move by Tyrone Lue. There's just a lot of things not to understand. Like KCP started, right? You could easily see Wes Matthews there. You could easily see Caruso starting for Schroeder, and Schroeder moving into his normal role. And it's not like Caruso hasn't done it before. He started several times. He even started in the playoffs. I think in Game 6 he started. Maybe it was Game 5. But, man, Caruso was active too. But he went 11 deep this game. I'm sorry. Yeah, he went 11 deep this game. And the only DNPs were Cook, Dudley, and McKinney. That's 10 player. That's the 14-player roster right there. And Devontae Kaycock and Kostas Antetokounmpo were there. They were suited up. There was 4 DNPs, and Quick Cook got 1 minute. He played 1 minute and 23 seconds. 1, 2, 3. He did. I thought when Taylor was in, I liked that a lot, giving him some experience. I play fantasy, and Taylor was number 1 on, transaction trends or whatever, for free agency trends for several days. And I think people need to wrap their head around that he's maybe the 9th best player on the team. And even if you just wanted to say, hypothetically, maybe he was the 7th or 10th, I don't know. How could you say that AD, LeBron, Kuzma, Schroeder, Montrez, even Marc Gasol, KCP, Wes Matthews are not better than him, or Caruso as well. I do think Taylor's better than Markieff Morris, though. I mean, Markieff Morris I think he's pretty overrated. What's very interesting is Markieff had the best plus minus in the game, so maybe I'm overstepping for this one particular game, but I don't like Markieff very much. Very inconsistent. And tonight, he missed a free throw. He had 3 points. I'm sorry, no. He had 5 points. He got fouled on a 3, I believe. But yeah, so LeBron had... Let's go to the stats. LeBron had 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. AD, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. He had 0 offensive rebounds, which is something that I don't usually see from AD. Marc Gasol, like I totally sat-line, zeroed out. KCP, that's the thing. Like, it's just very strange. KCP got a huge contract, and he had 9 points on 4 shots, which is actually solid. But, like, I don't know. You know what? This is what I should say first. I'm on the NBA.com website, and sometimes I'm on the ESPN.com website. And they've totally changed it for this season, and everything's like backwards. You'd expect points to be in one of the first columns, but at the end, next to the plus minus, and it's very confusing sometimes. But, I mean, there's not too much. Schroeder, almost triple-double, I said. Montrez, I said. Wes Matthews, 11 minutes, didn't play defense, but he was negative 18, 1 steal, 0 points for Wes Matthews. And he only took 2 shots, both were threes. LeBron set him up for one perfectly in the corner, and I think I saw LeBron like visibly pissed off, or just a little bit irked. Wide open shots. Kuzma played pretty well. He started out pretty slow. I think he started out like over 4 or something. And even Reggie Miller, the most overrated and honestly, literally maybe delusional commentator. Like, Reggie Miller literally said in the beginning of the game, Nicholas Batum is going to give so much relief to Kawhi Leonard because he's one of the best defenders in the game. And I'm thinking, didn't the Hornets just cut him because he was probably the worst player in the league last year? And when they cut him, wasn't he making $30 million? Like, they straight up cut him. I don't think they even stretched his contract. They said, we don't want you here. You're taking up space. Bye. So I don't know how Reggie Miller could say that. I just don't. And then there's Taylor, 2 points. 6 points, 2 for 2. And yeah, so before we move on to the Clippers, let's go over some overall team stats. So the lead tracker, it was a wire-to-wire. The Clippers never were down. They were tied, I think, at one point in the third quarter. And, of course, the beginning. But, yeah, there was no lead changes. It was tied only once at 0-0. The longest run was 10 by the Clippers. I believe it might have been the Lakers when they made a run towards the end of the second and in the third when they got it very close. But, yeah, and also, I should have said this off the bat, it is very common to see teams lose when they receive rings. At least statistically. I remember that last year, or a couple of years ago. Like they were saying the Warriors, they lost like several of their, like the Warriors have won 3 rings. Steph has won 3, and all of them, they said they lost their ring ceremony game, and that's fine. It's only 0-1. Doesn't matter. It's about chemistry, obviously, and resting LeBron. Guy turns 36 in about a week and a half. So, rebounds, we had more rebounds, 45. Lakers and Clippers tied in assists, 22 each. The Clippers had 10 steals, Lakers had 4 steals. Clippers had 3 blocks, Lakers had 2 blocks. Clippers had 16 turnovers, Lakers had 19 big turnovers. Big. So, Schroeder only had 1 turnover, but, the big chunk came from a gentleman by the name of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They each had 4 turnovers, and nobody else had that amount. Caruso actually had 3, which is kind of crazy. He only played 16 minutes. And I don't really remember him handling the ball that much, so that's kind of shocking. They basically shot the same percentage of 47%, both teams. 3-point field goal was slightly favored for the Clippers. But overall, they both shot pretty from three. The Lakers shot 31. The Clippers were like 34 or 35. Free throw percentage, Lakers actually shot better. They were 77%. Clippers were 73. Historically, and over the past few years, or maybe even in general, the past decade or two, most of the seasons they've been very poor at free throw shooting. And tonight, if they can they were at 77. If they can maintain around like 80, 81 on average the whole season, that'd be incredible. It really would. Like 78, 79, 80, 81, just like maintain that. That'd be fantastic. And that'd be probably one of the highest average free throw percentages in the league for sure. So Paul George led the way with 33 points from both teams. I have Paul George in fantasy, so I'm very I'm not happy to see that he played well. But on a side note, that's I can differentiate. I'm not cheering for Paul George to make the shots, but it is what it is. And in terms of points for the Lakers, LeBron led the way with 22 rebounds. Schroeder led the team in rebounds. That's crazy. The guy's not very tall. He is active and he seeks the ball out when it's in the air for sure. And has pretty good hands grabbing that down. Serge Ibaka had 6 in terms of assists. Batum had 6 assists, so good job by Batum. He could pass the ball, and then Schroeder has 8. And then blocks, nobody had more than 1 block, so there you go on that. Points in the paint, Lakers at 38, Clippers at 50. That's not good. Second chance points, Clippers at 15, Lakers at 9. Usually we're pretty good about crashing the boards, especially with Montrezl Harrell and Anthony Davis at the helm. Fast break points, very similar. Lakers at 12, Clippers at 16. And let's go to the Clipper stats, and then we'll wrap it up, and I can get ready for the next game on Christmas versus the Mavericks, I believe we play. I'm pretty sure we play the Mavericks. If not, then I'm a terrible Laker fan. Luka versus LeBron. Should be fun. So the Clippers, they averaged about, their best player was Paul George with 33 points. He had 5 turnovers, so he had the most turnovers on the team and in the game of anybody. He played 36 minutes. You can't give LeBron 36 minutes, sorry, in your first game. I do like Vogel is just willing to put his foot down and say, nope. But Paul George really maximized those minutes, man. He was 13 for 18. That's pretty darn good for a guy that's shooting most of his shots on turnaround fadeaways and pull-ups from 3 or wherever. Paul George had made 5 of 8 threes. That's pretty dang good. Only 2 free throws. I remember him complaining a lot, so... Kawhi Leonard had 26 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Yeah, Kawhi Leonard was really poking the ball a lot. And there's this one play where there's a ball in the air, rebound, and Kawhi just swooped in and poked it away and grabbed it.
Patrick Beverley, he was a nuisance per usual. Talking shit to Montrez. When Montrez blocked him, it's like, please, you're 6'1", 110 pounds. He was even sitting on the bench and chirping to LeBron from the sidelines. He's a good player. I think he gets overrated, but, he can make threes. He made, I think, 2 or 3 threes. And I don't want to talk too much about the Clippers anymore. All I want to say is this. I liked a lot of things tonight. There's very little thing that I did not like. The opening ring ceremony got me in my feelings. And my favorite part, I said before, but also I forgot to mention that I really liked it when Marquise' brother was on the sideline, filming it and all happy for him. I thought that was awesome. That was really cool. I felt bad for the people sitting in the locker room that couldn't, attend the ceremony. Obviously, Montrez and Dennis Schroeder in the locker room, damn, I want that. So hopefully they see that and they'll, reach for that. Once again, this is KB24 status, Kobe24 and P3 are yours truly, the biggest Lakers fan on the face of the planet. Please check out my room man cave video. Also, I posted 9 videos. in the last 10 videos now with this in the last 10 days. So there's no reason to believe I do not post content. I'm consistent. I got you guys. Brand new season, same goal, ring, Lakers family. Don't worry, fans. We will be there in April and May and hopefully maybe March. But and the playoffs, of course, are June and July. So we're going to get there. 2021 to 2022 season is when it really is the real season. But this season, we're going to go back-to-back, get a three-peat, get LeBron his 6th ring, and then hopefully 7th. All right, take care. Stay safe. And go Lakers. Peace.